What's up, guys? Welcome to this exercisation. Nestor Adrianzen here again. Today we're gonna learn about how to build waterfall charts in Power BI Desktop and also in Excel 2016. Hey, if this is the first time that you stop by this platform, please make sure to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss anything. Alright, guys, let's do it. For this tutorial, we have 5 different points. Of course, we're going to learn about waterfall charts. We're going to learn about waterfall charts and its uses. Also, we're going to use this awesome tool, Power BI Desktop, to build a waterfall chart. We're going to learn about how to build a waterfall chart in Excel 2016. And finally, if you guys are like me, you learn by doing, I have 2 practical cases. Okay? So guys, please stay still and let's keep going. All right, so what are waterfall charts? We have right here 2 different points to talk about, okay? So waterfall charts show a running total as Power BI adds and subtracts values. They are useful for understanding how an initial value is affected by a series of positive and negative changes. And finally, waterfall charts are also called bridge charts. Okay, so now let's go to the next point. So waterfall chart uses. So this is very important, guys. We need to be aware of these uses, okay? So the first one, when you have changes for the measure across time, a series or different categories, so we need to use waterfall charts. What is the other point? To add the measured changes contributing to the total value, we can use a waterfall chart as well. What else? To plot your company's annual profit by showing various sources of revenue and arrive at a total profit or loss. Very important as well. And also here we have to illustrate the beginning and the ending headcount for your company in a year. Okay. And finally, we can also use a waterfall chart to visualize how much money you make and spend each month and the running balance for your account. So guys, as you can see, these type of charts are very useful, and let's keep going. So now, how to build a waterfall chart in Power BI Desktop. As you guys can see, here we have a screenshot, and this is basically the visualizations area in Power BI Desktop. So there is a square here, a red square, and this is basically saying that this type of chart is the chart that we need to use to create a waterfall chart. And we will take a look at this type of chart when we are doing our practical case, so don't worry. Okay, so now let's go to the next point. So now we need to learn how to build a waterfall chart in Excel 2016 as well. So here the chart is the same. We're going to use a waterfall chart, and also as you can see right here, there is it's highlighted in red. Okay, please keep that in mind. And now let's go to the next point. Okay, so this is the time, my friends. So we need to put everything into practice. So here we have 2 practical cases, right? So the first one, we need to visualize the beginning balance, deposits, withdrawals, and ending balance of a certain bank account. Okay, so this is a nice exercise. In the second case here is we need to design the beginning and ending headcount of a company for a certain year. So these are 2 beautiful exercises, and we're going to use Power BI Desktop and Excel. Before we jump into Power BI Desktop, let's take a quick look at the data. Okay, so this is the file that I'll be sharing with you guys as well. So you can start playing, you can change numbers, you can do whatever you want. Okay, so what is really important here is to have this structure. So we have right here 5 different columns. We have a period column, the base column, deposits, withdrawals, and cash flow. So for that period column, of course, we have right here the days, right, that we'll be using. And we also have right here the opening and the ending balance. For the base column is basically a calculation. So let me take a look at this particular cell. So for this particular number, so we are using the previous base plus cash flow. Okay, so this is basically 1780 plus 300, but in this case 300 is negative, so that's why we are getting this number right here, 1480. Okay, so if we take a look at another cell, we can do this one right here again. So the base number is basically the base number for the previous period plus cash flow. In this case, cash flow is negative. That's why we're getting a smaller number here as well. Like I mentioned before, I'm going to share with you guys this file so you can also play with this information. So for the deposits column, so of course, we are adding money to your bank account. So this means that this is what we want, right? We need more deposits in our bank accounts. So this is good. Withdrawals, these are expenses. Okay, so that's why if we take a look at the last column here, which is cash flow is basically the difference between deposits and withdrawals, right? So that's how we calculate these numbers. So this is really important, guys. Please be familiar with this structure because this is going to be very helpful before we start playing with Power BI Desktop, right? Okay, and we also have the same thing for the second case, which is headcount, right? We have period here, we have base, we have hire people, we also have fire or retire people, and then the last column is also the headcount flow. Okay, so the analysis is very similar, but this is key, guys. If you guys organize your data in this way, so you will be very successful in this tutorial. So now let's jump into Power BI Desktop and let's start playing with this awesome tool. All right, so here we are in Power BI Desktop. And of course, we have these two tables right here. We have cash flow and we also have headcount. So let's start doing our exercise. So for cash flow, what we're gonna do here is something really cool. So let's insert this chart, which is the waterfall chart, right? And also let's select the cash flow table, and we need to select also for the x-axis, we need to select period, okay? So which is right here, part of category, okay? So now for the changes, we need to select cash flow. Boom, there it is. So this looks great, but there is something here that we need to fix, right? Because this is not very well organized. We have right here October 31st, we have opening balance, we have October 16th. So this is not what we want. So we need to organize this data. We need to sort these periods, right? So how do we do that? If you guys can see, right here we see three dots. Click right here, and then let's select sort by period, and let's see what happens. This looks better, but still we have the same problem because we have right here October 7th, October 4th. So we need to sort this. So let's take a quick look at these three dots again. How about if we sort ascending, and let's see what happens. Looks better, but still we have the same issue. So how do we fix this? In order to fix this, we need to go to transform data. Okay, let's go to the home tab right here and then hit transform data. This is critical, my friends. You have to do this, okay? Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we need to add a new column. And if you're guessing right, we're gonna use the index column right here. There it is. And then we need to close this and apply. Perfect. So let's go to data here. And of course, we are in the cash flow table. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna sort a column based on another column. So we're gonna sort the period column. We select this column. Let's go to column tools here, and there is an option here. It says sort by column. And of course, we're gonna select right here the index column. And let's see what happens. All right, guys, now you can see that this is better, right? We have the opening balance, and we also have right here the periods are very well organized from October 1st to October 31st. So this looks better. If you guys want to add more changes here, we can add labels as well. Let's select this chart right here. Let's activate labels. There it is. So you want to make your labels a little bit bigger, we can do that as well. Can select right here 12 if we want. There it is. Looks better. You can also do something really cool here. Let's select right here cash flow, and let's select dollars here, because we are talking about money, right? There it is. So now this looks better. If you wanna keep making changes here, you can center the title. We can do that as well. Let's go to title here and then center. Boom. There it is, my friends. So how do we read this chart? So we have the opening balance, which was $2,000, right? And then we were spending money. But on October 16th, we got a deposit, right? So we probably spent money there as well, but the balance was 900 for this day. Positive, okay? And then we kept spending more money, and finally on October 31st, we also had another deposit. And finally, at the end of the month, we had $2,705 in your bank account. So guys, that's how it works. I hope you found this helpful. And now let's jump into the next case. So in order to solve the next case, we need to duplicate this page, okay? So we're gonna do that, duplicate this page, and we're gonna call this headcount. There it is. And of course, we need to remove these fields. Okay, let's unselect these fields. Why are we doing this? Because we want to select the other table, the headcount table. In this case, the analysis, the steps are very similar. So we need to select right here, period. There it is. And of course, for this particular case, we need to select headcount flow. There it is. We keep doing the same steps here. Sort by period, ascending, and let's see what happens. We can see the same issue here because this is sorted in alphabetical order, right? And we don't want to do that. So now let's follow the same steps that we did for the cash flow table. So let's go to transform data, and then let's select the headcount table. And right here, what we need to do is add the new column, the index column, right? And then go home and then close and apply. So it's loading. So now let's go to data again. Let's make sure that we select the right table. This is the headcount table, period, column tools, sort by index. Boom. There is something really cool that we can do here as well, because we don't care about this column. We can select this column, right click, and we can hide in report view. so we don't get confused, okay? And also we can do the same for the cash flow table. Select this column right here, right click, hide in report view. So that means that we go back to report and let's select this table, we don't see the index column here, okay? So we don't get confused. As you can see, now we have what we need, right? We have start date, we have the start point here, we have January, February, and finally December here. So how do we read this chart, right? So we started with 200 employees, and then we ended up with 546 employees at the end of the year. So what happened here is that from January to May, we were hiring people. And then in June, we fire or people retire, right? That's why we have minus 10. And then from June to September, we kept hiring people. And then in October again, we saw people leaving the company for these two reasons, right? They were fired or they retired. And finally, we kept hiring people in November and December. So that's how we read this chart. Okay, guys, this is everything related to Power BI Desktop. This is how we do it in Power BI Desktop. Now let's do this in Excel. All right, guys, now we are here in Excel. So let's do this. So we can select any cell within this table, and then let's go to Insert. And right here, we can select the waterfall chart. Boom, there it is. So we can make a couple of changes here because we care about cash flow only. So that looks better. And also, if you guys can see, we don't see the ending balance here. Something is missing, right? So what we can do here is basically, we need to add the ending balance here. So we need to add every single row here. Boom, there it is. And then let's select the first bar, okay, which is the opening balance bar. Right click, set as total, and we can do this for the ending balance bar as well. Right click, set as total. That looks better. We can also right here select this chart, and then let's add labels. Add labels, right? In this case, because this is money, because this is cash flow, we can also change right here to a dollar symbol, right? Boom, there it is, my friends. That looks better. If you can change right here the title, you can do that as well. So let's call this cash flow. There it is. That's how it works, my friends. So now let's do the same for the next table. Any cell within this table, insert, waterfall chart. Let's reorganize this a little bit better. Right here, remember that we care about the headcount flow only. And of course, we need to add right here as well every single row. Set as total. Same here, right here. Right click, set as total. There it is. We can also add labels here, right? Okay, remember these are employees. This should be just an integer, no decimals here. No decimals here because these are employees. Perfect. What else? We can also change the title here, right? We can call this the head count. There it is, my friends. That's how it works. There you have it. Now let's go back to our presentation. All right, guys, that was it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you found this content very helpful. If so, please give me a thumbs up, share with your friends, leave your comments or questions below, and of course, don't forget to subscribe because you don't want to miss anything. Thank you guys and see you in my next tutorial.